Welcome to the Women in Leadership Body, Mind, Soul, and Business podcast. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Heather, and together we are working to connect women in leadership and business to build relationships, empowering each other to improve the health and wellness of our community, body, mind, and soul, sharing the heart and soul of who we are and what we do, even in allergy season.
Even in allergy season, right? Today's guest is a woman of compassion and magic. She is super creative and thinks outside the box. This master of energy is truly inspirational and just a joy to be around. Please welcome back to the table the ever vibrant Monica Shriver.
Oh, that was a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. Oh, you guys. Well, as we get to know each other, I just love seeing the light in each other's eyes, and it's like, oh, what an honor that I got to sculpt your little baby, that we get to know each other even more. And
we had to give Dogs a Podcast a break today because they have been toddlers today, going on 13.
Yeah, something like that.
Like a three-nager.
So Monica, in her crafting group, they did Athena art. So Heather's little dog Athena that hangs out with us at the podcast, she's this little Jack Russell pug. She's a jug, right? And so that she got this little clay sculpted face of Athena.
I've been wearing it, so it's at home on my nightstand.
Yeah.
So because I've been wearing
just
it.
like her. It is so adorable.
Even her little teethers. Oh my gosh. Oh, the teethers.
So Monica, quick rundown for new listeners. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is you do.
Awesome. Okay, so I call myself the artistic medium. So tapping into intuition is and helping people to tap into theirs is my passion. And I have a group that I've created. It's called, here, I've got my little card here. We have a card for our group. It's our group, the online oh, look, there's a flower on it.
That's cute.
So it's onlinemakersgroup.com. We have a Facebook group. We meet once a week, and you can either work on your own project, or I'll be working on my whimsy of the week. And one of the things that I talk about is the power of creativity, of making, whether it's song, dance, just painting, whatever form it is. It gets you out of that deeply entrenched physical space that being in a body sometimes can mean. It can mean that we forget that we are actually spiritual beings existing in harmony with our physical bodies. Sometimes we can forget that we are more than a body. So those creative projects take us, and I love even like outside the box is like, there is no box. Like, what is a box in nature? If you look around in nature, there are very few natural boxes. You have round curvy shells, you have little hollows, things that are organic, but not a lot of natural boxes. So it tells you a lot about the nature of things and how fluid we are and how organic we really are.
I just had an epiphany.
Ooh.
Boxes are man-made. You have to be in those man-made ideals to fit inside the box.
Yeah. I love that there was a sound from the other room. It was like, bum, bum. I always, that's always confirmation. Like, there's the exclamation point from the universe. Like what she said. Yes.
Yes.
Right.
That. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I don't fit in a box because boxes are not natural.
Right. Box is fabrication. Yeah. So that's what I love as a medium is helping people to awaken to what I believed, what I thought was reality is not reality. And sometimes people, if they're coming in for the first time having a reading, they'll come in and maybe get a little nervous, and their body, frankly, will know before they come in that something is going to shift within them. Something is going to change, because spirit precedes the body. Spirit knows all, and it's before and bigger than the body. So when they come in, the spirit already knows that oh yes, you know that old paradigm no longer makes sense here. And so sometimes it can be a little weak in the knees thing going on of, wait, what's going on here? And then I love, one of my favorites is when people have like, if they have a partner that's come in, and I tell people, I don't want to know anything about you. Don't, you know, let's give you validation. There's more than what we can perceive with our senses. So they come in and you know, the stuff will be streaming in, because you go to that place of infinite consciousness to do a reading, and they'll look at the, you know, did you tell her that? And did you? No, I know. And so those are my favorite moments where it's like, no, how did they get? And then it's just like, it's just so beautiful. There's so much that we do not know about this world, that we're still babies. And we're learning, and you know, we look at our little dogs and cats, and we're like, oh, they're so simple, you know, they think they hear the doorbell ring on the TV and they think it's somebody at the door, and but then, you know, you look at us and it's like, oh, they're so simple. They think that the body died and we lost connection with everything. Oh, that's silly.
You know, when you put it like that, it's like, I mean, that makes sense.
Right? Like,
Right.
why would you lose connection with it? Like, here we are, we have wireless, this and that, and yet we're totally capable of wirelessness. We haven't learned the language completely, but when you have a door closed, when you've had a door closed for so many years, or a culture where the door's been closed and judgment will close the door, once you start opening the door, that's what it takes to have information flood in. So the doors are opening in our culture, and that's really exciting.
That is
And-
very, very
That is very
exciting.
exciting.
Wow.
Yes, are bringing in more, and it's exponential. Just like, you know, that if you look at how long we've had technology, not very long
Not very
in
long.
No,
comparison
yeah.
to the span of the rest of life, you know,
Mhm.
that we've lived. But it's exponential. So
Mhm.
once you open the door to those possibilities, well, then this builds on this, and this builds on this, and you know, we've got, woo! So that's what's happening. in our-
Compound effect is legit.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, it's just that beautiful exponential ripple effect, and it is a lot going on for our bodies.
Mhm.
So that's why I said today that there was a lot coming in for me. So art is most of our way. Organization is actually a way for some people, counting, sorting, like this. It helps your body cope with so much streaming energy.
Mhm.
That's
Body-
why I love to crochet.
Yes, yes.
And because of that repetitiveness, and then the counting, like even if
Yes.
it's like 5 over and over and over again, like 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5, like
Ooh.
it's very calming, and it has a pattern, and then it's like, okay, I reached the end, I flip my project over and we do it again, you know, and that
Oh,
it's super
yeah.
calming. Yeah.
That's a really good point. The counting and crochet. We were talking about that a couple weeks ago. My mom's like, "Oh, we should go back to it," and I was like, "Oh, I was thinking I don't really have the patience for it because I'm always going to one project or another." But we were really revisiting how healing that is and how relaxing that is. And if you look at every culture, there's some form of counting beads,
Mhm.
counting, you know, that repetition, chanting.
Mhm.
And you know, music can have drumming, that there is something to, even if you look at our primal, like how we enjoy massage or vibration, it's
Mhm.
like, oh,
Well,
you know,
because
it's
everything is
vibration.
energy and music, and
Yes.
you know, creates those energy vibrations. You know, you can tell a story with music.
Oh gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, and you can feel the story with music. There's
Yes.
so many layers of so in writing. So I write music and I sing, and that's one of the forms of expression.
Mhm.
And singing got me, and songwriting got me through a really, really challenging period in my life. And it wasn't like I planned on it. I felt the songs, and then they wrote themselves, just like you would cry your tears and it kind of comes out. My tears just happen to be notes, and
Mhm.
they happen to be words. They came out at the same time, because different songwriters will write they'll write the words first, or then they'll add the music later, or sometimes vice versa. For me, it was like, if I'm high, then I'm happy. I've got a higher note.
Right.
And so it would come out, that note would naturally be with the feeling.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
yeah, they would kind of, it was this natural synchronicity that would happen. And so it wasn't in my head, it was really that, how that feeling came out. And so music is, I talk about, that's one of the things that transcends when we pass. We can, that's one form that's universal still. There's, you don't need a body to hear the music. It's like they hear you, our loved ones hear our songs and our all of that. And we can learn their language too, through the signs, like, oh, there's those butterflies from mom again. You know, we can learn to what the language is, just like we learn German or French or something like that through immersion. But music will feel it first. We'll feel those emotions. That's why very often before readings now, I'll pull up the music that comes on. I call it spirit radio, but it's my car radio. Let's get real.
Right. Right. Just hit the,
Yeah, sometimes it's like perfect though.
random.
Like, when you like, I'm like, okay, I'm in a mood, or you're having something go on, and that I will turn the radio on and it will be like the perfect song to help me change my mindset, or you know, go in a different direction, you know, like,
or work through what you're trying to
or
work through.
it.
Yeah.
Let the emotion out. Sometimes, you know, maybe I need a good cry.
Yeah.
Who knew it was going to make me cry, you know? Poor Bee. There was a little while where she couldn't ride with me because every time she put a song on, I would start crying. And she's like, so like Disney songs were safe, but
Right, and she loves Disney. Right?
I was actually just singing Let It Go, and I was like, when I was doing a recording earlier today, I'm like, oh, that's going to get copyright clipped. Oh, well, let it go. Who cares?
So our sutra topic this week is Ahimsa, which is nonviolence and compassion. And one of the thoughts that I thought would be a great one to talk to you about is that it requires more courage to be nonviolent than to condone or participate in violence.
Ooh. Gosh, you know, as a human being, violence is something that starts within each of us. So if I oppose reality, then the violence has begun. So if even something very simple is this should be, and I've experienced violence against myself by having regrets over the past or fears over the future, because the reality is my gift, and then my creativity and my love is my appreciation of that reality in whatever form it takes. Now that's, if you want to get to the point where you are transcending it, wake up every morning with gratitude. And I know that you guys know the power of gratitude. Gratitude is the root of the root of the fruited tree of creativity. You start with gratitude and you end up with your fruit. And in whatever way, you know, you may have a crooked tree and it may go all like this, but the start with gratitude and those fruits will be more likely to appear on the tree. So that anything that opposes that is what I call the me mind or the ego mind. So that me mind says it's my opinion, and my opinion is, well, if I think it's better than anything, you know, even spirit source's opinion, that my ego, you know, will say that. And very intelligent people have especially challenges with this, because they go, well, I did this on Thursday and that worked, and then I know I need to do this again on Friday because that was successful. Just because it worked on Thursday doesn't mean it's going to work on Friday. And if it doesn't work, can you still dance?
Right?
Wow.
Right?
I love that.
It's
so
like
much.
dancing in the rain.
Right?
Yes. Celebrating the struggle, because you know that it's you're learning something along the way. We have
I love
had
it.
some struggles today, and we always get a little worked up around technology issues and things like that, because we're like, oh, it should work, right? But we've changed our mindset around it, where it's like, oh, no big deal. Maybe that, the universe is telling us what needs to happen when, and things like that. And it's fine. If it doesn't work, that's okay. Today's not the day. That's okay.
Yeah, we were really like just like doing so many podcasts. We've been able to see that things happen when they're supposed to. We talk to the right person. We finally go live at the right time. Like there's a reason. Like and today was no different. Like we were sitting here, and I was like, I looked at Charlie like, we're so calm. I'm so proud of us right now. Like we're just chill. Like we're reading our book. Like, oh, all right, we'll figure it out. Wait for it to do its thing. Like no big deal. And then you hop on, and you are like talking about the intro chapter that we were reading. Like you're naturally talking about it. I was like, are you kidding me? Okay.
So, Monica, have you read the 4 Agreements yet?
I'm familiar with the book. I love his work. So a lot of the times I do flip throughs, and I call it open book channeling. And I just so the times that I have had that book in my possession, and I have flipped it open, and it's been amazing, everything that I've turned to. Have I done it from cover to cover? No, but I might do that someday. But it is a fabulous book from what I've experienced so far.
We are going to be doing an entire week in July based on this book alone, because we feel like it is that powerful.
So we're going to do an episode on each of the 4 agreements. And then we were like, oh, there's a whole intro chapter kind of introducing your mind to the new experience, which is the mental health topic of the week, is saying yes to new experiences. So like I was like, it's these things all come together, right? Like it's just meant to be. I love it. And so Charlie had a few thoughts that she was like, ooh, really, like let's share this.
So here's just one short little snippet from the 4 Agreements in the first chapter. We are born with the capacity to learn how to dream, and the humans who live before us teach us how to dream the way society dreams. The outside dream has so many rules that when a new human is born, we hook the child's attention and introduce these rules into his or her mind. The outside dream uses mom and dad, the schools, and religion to teach us how to dream.
It's like the indoctrination.
Yeah. I was like, it's the birth of culture, and how we came to already have these expectations on us. I was like, wow, what way to put it in a package.
And then a couple pages later, it says, as children, we didn't have the opportunity to choose our beliefs, but we agreed with the information that was passed to us from the dream of the planet via other humans. The only way to store information is by agreement. The outside dream may hook our attention, but if we don't agree, we don't store that information. As soon as we agree, we believe it. And this is called faith. To have faith is to believe unconditionally. Like this little book is full of like truth bombs.
It's ironic, because to me the faith is when the believing stops for me. It's like it's that something is beyond what even my ego can comprehend. And I love that that it's where the belief, where you say, okay, that's again where that creativity comes in. If you're stuck with that belief there, then you're stuck with it. Anything those are the boxes. Beliefs build boxes, and they can build cages or they can build castles. It's whatever you choose to hold as your own. That's wonderful. Oh gosh, that's so good.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
This week's quote from the Path of the Yoga Sutras is, it is quite proper to resist an attack system, but to resist and attack its author is tantamount to resisting and attacking oneself. To slight a single human being is to the divine powers within us, and thus harm not only that being, but with him the whole world. And
Ooh.
that's from Gandhi,
Ooh.
right? Because hurting people hurt people,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And it's just, there's so much creativity. There's so much more with a question than there is with a, you know, a judgment. If that aggression has to start with a judgment, otherwise what would there be to attack? So you have that judgment and you go after, you should be, then you should have been last week, and next and tomorrow you should be something else, you know. That's a judgment, and then comes the attack, right?
Right? You're fantastic.
Toward yourself or anyone
Yeah,
else, you know, like,
right.
you're just a jerk. So it's prison. And the prison starts within us. So if it's like, okay, do I want to live out that prison in here? And then, you know, if you're in denial, the fact that you're in your own prison, you're going to just start wanting to lash out of that prison with other people. So it always does come back to, am I in a prison myself? Am I moving there out into the world? So that's, and I think that's where the questions and the compassion will, and the gratitude, those are also big, because they'll wake us up right away. Like, whoa, that was a nightmare. Oh my gosh. Gratitude woke me up. Like, compassion. I don't know your story, but I'm curious, you know, this, like, oh, you know, even just that tone. If you listen to judgment often has a tone like this. You know, I love the sound, because the sound will
or
come.
the face.
The face, the sound, all of it. It all is there's a universality.
You made the face.
You know,
yeah, definitely.
Superiority, you know, but then openness or expansion has a sound too. Without judgment, it's it even goes higher. It even has a tone to it. It's like this, open arms, closed fists. It's amazing how the body, that's why yoga is so wonderful, because it shows you how the body reflects. You've got your warrior pose, you've got the body will reflect what your belief system is. So if you can look at those beliefs and keep bringing it back to core, then you can find more happiness in your life. And then there's that ripple again.
You can grow the joy. I always like the analogy for myself was,
say that again. You said you could borrow the joy.
I said grow the joy.
Oh, I thought you said grow the joy.
Grow the joy.
Grow the joy.
Okay. I know it's a Steffi. I've been saying darn allergies. So in the middle of all of my darkness and everything happening, when life is lifing at its worst, I reminded myself that I could grow joy. That even though these things are happening, that I could cultivate that for myself. So I can bring fun socks into my life. I can, you know, do like little things like
that make you feel good,
you know, that make you feel good. Like, yes, like having fun filters and building the confidence too. I think one of the things that I did was, as a tool, was not even sharing it to the world, but just taking a selfie every day. And there's something about posing for yourself, like you start to build your confidence of what you like about yourself. And I liked it when I did it this way. And you can learn to see yourself in a beautiful way instead of always judging yourself so harshly.
Oh, and that's also, it's so beautiful. And you know, to judge ourselves is also very innocent. It's like the dog with the doorbell on the TV. So in our family, teeth are very nice teeth, very like genetically, everybody has these beautiful teeth, and my teeth kind of started going their own ways. They're like, we're rebels, we're gonna go in one the other, you know. And I had this beautiful friend of mine. She really woke me up, because I was having judgments about my teeth. Oh, I didn't take care of my teeth, and they're crooked, and I didn't wear my retainer when I was in high school, and regret. And this friend, she has a beautiful gap in her teeth, and I swear her heart shines through that gap in her teeth. She is so loving, and every time she smiles, she lights up the room. And she lit up the room, and it lit right into my heart. And I realized I smile from my heart, not from my teeth.
Mhm.
And so that showed me what was important: loving myself, being magnetic. And then when I show others, love yourself where you're at and treat yourself well, and you will be more likely to bring more of that into your life, more health, more support, more abundance. And, you know, if you can love yourself where you're at, oh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Look at these crazy teeth. Fun.
Right. And
I love teeth.
They're rebels.
I had kind of funky teeth as a kid, and I had braces and things like that. And I lost my retainer at boot camp like a month after I got my braces off. So I had one little tooth that moved back out of all of them.
Oh wow.
And I kind of appreciate that, because it's perfectly imperfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's perfectly imperfect. Nobody ever notices, you know,
Yeah.
and they never go, oh, your teeth are great. You know, no, right? The only person that says anything ever about my teeth is my dentist.
Right.
And, you know, we judge ourselves so much. But you talk about being kind and caring and stuff to yourself. Well, that is showing yourself compassion, showing
Yes.
yourself nonviolence, because you can be
Yes.
awfully brutal to yourself too.
Absolutely.
And holding that grace for yourself to learn how not to be that way, like, is,
Yeah.
and sometimes it sneaks up, like, as you're learning, like, you're like, I'm doing so much better, and then all of a sudden something will happen that triggers you in a weird way, and you're like, well, that wasn't very nice to myself.
Here it is.
Like, what happened?
So, and that's that culture of belief again. Do you want to believe that, or do you want to live an example of beauty, smiles from the inside, and give permission to others? Oh, they'll see you and they go, look at how happy she is. I want to be just like that. I want to feel that good.
So a little piece from the Path of the Yoga Sutras this week on Ahimsa, or compassion and nonviolence. Ahimsa can be applied toward ourselves as well. For example, if you do something wrong, do not beat yourself up about it or regret it for a long time. Be compassionate and kind to yourself and learn from the experience. Remember, how we treat ourselves will influence our treatment of others.
That is one of our quotes too this week, where we talk about that, like, definitely.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Monica. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, no. I just, that's so beautiful. And I think that one of the things too that I've seen people beat themselves up when they feel like they're not being perfectly spiritual on their spiritual journey. And, you know, I mean, going back to kind of the teeth example, is spirituality it's a daily practice, or it's a weekly practice. You don't brush your teeth one time and then say, I'm done. You know, I mean,
Right.
you might, but you might get gum disease really bad if you do, and it's over. I did it. I'm spiritual. I brush my teeth. No, it's an ongoing thing, and we are in bodies. So we're going to have moments where we are, I don't know, can I say a little bit of a shit show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we censored here? Anyway, we're going to have those moments where we're human, and maybe where we flip someone off in the car, you know, where and it doesn't, it's like, you jerk, you know, I would have the right of way on the road, and maybe you did have the right of way on the road. And that's okay. That's okay, because we can get ourselves back there again. Because if you if you start this shame spiral, it's just gently bring yourself back to, hey, maybe I avoided an accident that was way worse because that person cut me off, and I wasn't supposed to get to that place as fast as I was, because 3 minutes down the road, you know, you never know,
Yeah.
that
30 seconds may have saved your life.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
But in the moment, you got your little crazy town, and you know, whatever. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm like, life
Okay.
happens for me. Life happens for me. Life
Life
happens
happens
for me.
Wow.
Life is gonna life, but
Life
it's
is
gonna
gonna
life
life.
for you, right?
Uh-huh.
We have so much amazing things coming up, and I'm so excited to share all of these things with you guys. And Heather's excited to share these things with you guys. And Monica, we appreciate you so, so much. You have become such a dear friend and an inspiration every single time we talk. You know, whether it's on the podcast or on Facebook or, you know, in person on occasion, you know, we do run into each other.
Yes, when we synchronistically align to go to Office Depot together.
Right? Every time. Every time.
Is that coming soon? Because I think we were talking about office supplies with a friend yesterday. So this like is coming up.
It's a thing.
And the outing. Maybe we should
Thing.
schedule it this year.
Schedule the random trip to Office Depot.
I was thinking earlier, like miracles, you know, like, oh, I need this to happen this way, and it should have happened this way. It's like planning miracles. Are we not?
Right.
I really love having putting out the thing that we want to accomplish, but not being attached to how it's accomplished, because then you have the opportunity to see how those miracles come into play, to see how I manifested trees in a she shed in my life, like, is amazing.
Yeah.
They're
You
my
know?
trees, my shed, and my SUV and everything, my living room furniture, everything that was on her dream board before she even knew me was all
It was
stuff that
really
was- yeah.
creepy. Like,
And she
and we've
manifested
had, like-
me and all my stuff.
I didn't know that
That's
it was
so
her
fun.
that I was manifesting. I was like, we need this house and these trees, and like, oh, I need a Charlie is what I really need.
See,
Adorable.
the universe provided
Yes,
just
absolutely.
in a way that you didn't expect, right?
Yes.
And isn't that the way it goes?
Well, and that's it. The ego says should, and the
Mhm.
imagination says maybe. Yes,
Yeah.
possibility. You put your hand out and you wait, and the bird is more likely to land on your hand.
You have to put your
Mhm.
hand out or the bird can't land.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
like, if you don't even try, like, that's not even going to be a thing. Like,
We gotta wrap it up.
we do.
We gotta wrap it up. Monica, we absolutely love talking to you. We love having you as a guest. To all of our listeners, thank you for joining us today on the Women in Leadership Body, Mind, Soul, and Business podcast. Check out the website for all of our upcoming events and fun stuff.
Right
we
at the
have
bottom
coming
of the front page of the website is a calendar. It has local and virtual things on it.
Mhm.
So you go right there, www.womeninleadership BSMB. Why did we let the girl with the stuffy nose say it? I'm sorry.
Women
I
in
have-
Leadership BSMB.com. And the other thing we want to remind you guys of is, as we start doing more pre-recordings and planning for some family time and things like that this summer, make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast so you get the latest and greatest updates and episode releases as soon as they're available.
They come out on podcast first.
Because
So even if we're not live, there's a podcast dropping. So
Right.
you don't want to miss it.
Right.
We're not gonna go away on you when
Nope.
we take vacation.
no,
Yeah.
we are planning
And
ahead.
download that. Speaking of vacation, download it to your phone or whatever. So if you don't have reception on your drive or wherever, you can still listen to it on your phone.
So you could do
Oh,
that from your
yeah.
Apple podcast. You could do that on
Spotify.
Spotify, Audible. That one's my favorite. I have us on Audible, and I
Ooh,
can tell
nice.
my Alexa to play us. Like, so cool. I can hang out with y'all while I'm not with you. Like, I'm like, just hanging with my
Yeah.
friends.
Hanging out with my homies.
Yeah.
Hanging with the homies. So make sure you guys do that as we get moving on changing some things up and making sure that we have enough energy to share with you guys as we continue moving forward. Because this is, running a
Yes,
podcast is a lot
sustainability.
of work.
Yeah.
It is sustainable, but we need to kind of manage that for ourselves a little bit. So anyway, we love you all. Thank you for joining us. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.